Okay, let's go ahead and do another portion of part 8 of my collection update. Up first for this video, we have the 8-movie Nightmare on Elm Street collection. This particular version includes Freddy vs. Jason. The Blu-ray set does not, but that's okay because it's included over here in the Friday the 13th box set. I want to see a similar box set to this for Nightmare on Elm Street, honestly, as well as 4Ks for both. I know there's a currently 4K bundle for these that has 7 movies in it, but like my Blu-ray does. But anyway, this one includes Nightmare on Elm Street 1, 2, Freddy's Revenge, 3, Dream Warriors, 4, The Dream Master, 5, The Dream Child, 6, Freddy's Dead, The Final Nightmare, 7, Wes Craven's New Nightmare, the weakest of the bunch, and 8, Freddy vs. Jason. And it has part of the jingle for Freddy up here, where it doesn't have the 910 portion, but there it is. Then there's a bit more information on the back of the case for these, including all the runtimes. As far as the casts are concerned, we got John Saxon, Heather Langenkamp, obviously introducing Johnny Depp. Naturally, it has Robert Englund as Freddy as well. The second one has Freddy, or Robert Englund again. In case that's a spoiler alert, with it being called Freddy's Revenge and all that. Anyway, next up, the third one, I recognize the names of Heather Langenkamp returning to the franchise with Lawrence Fishburne, John Saxon, and Robert Englund are all returning cast members for this one. Fourth one again has Robert Englund. It seems like his was the only name that it shows in the cast. Interesting. In the cast position, because after the title itself, it just says casting by so-and-so. Then for part 5, we have Lisa Wilcox as reprising her role as Alice. And Robert Englund obviously reprising Freddy himself. Then we have in number 6, the only returning cast member from the previous ones is Freddy himself with Robert Englund. In Wes Craven's New Nightmare, we have Robert Englund and Heather Langenkamp playing themselves, as well as John Saxon. Because it's set more or less in the real world, where they have real Freddy as like film reel, REEL Freddy, played by a different actor. And like I said, it's set more so in the real world. Scream 3 did that dynamic a bit better, I feel like, honestly. And then, let's see, the Freddy vs. Jason we already talked about. So yeah. Is this one? Stuff inside? No. Okay. So there we go. There's that one. Here's the Blu-ray collection that has the the ones from the original through New Nightmare. And then it has a bonus feature disc. This one only has 4 discs. The first disc has the original. The second disc has 2 and 3. The third disc has 4, 5. The fourth disc has 6 and 7, and then the bonus feature DVD has over 3 hours of special features on it. Including, I think, a couple of 2 episodes from the Freddy's Nightmares series that we covered in the previous video. But yeah, cool design for this one. The front is the same, the backs are different there. That we already went over these, so yeah. I forgot to mention, I think Wes Craven himself is in Wes Craven's New Nightmare. Let's see. Or someone playing Wes Craven is, at least. Anyway, moving on. New Nightmare is not my favorite of the bunch. Next up, we have the Steelbook for the reboot. I would take the sticker off, but I don't want to damage the case itself. But this is for Friday the 13th, or not Friday the 13th. The Nightmare on Elm Street rebooted. On the back, it just says Never Sleep Again with some flame designs on it, and there's Freddy himself. And then the inside has some cast information this time. Freddy is portrayed by Jackie Earle Haley. We have Kyle Galnu in it from Smallville. He played that version of the Flash. And then Katie Cassidy, also from the Arrowverse, is in this. She played in the Arrowverse. Katie Cassidy played Laura Lance, and I don't recognize the other names involved in this, at least not the ones that I can make out from the case itself here. There's a couple under the tab here that get in the way of seeing what it says. I feel like I recognized a couple of the other character or actors in it, but I don't know their names. Anywho, cool design on the inside, and Freddy's glove there. I hope the 4K bundle has this one in it as well, honestly. Instead of just the original 7, I would hope it would include that as well. Then we have Jeepers Creepers 2 movie collection with one of those glow-in-the-dark cases. This has the original and the second one. Alternate case art on these. Do I recognize any of the cast members from this? Not for the first one, I don't think. Although, wait, well, Justin Long. That name does sound familiar, Justin Long. So I recognize his name. For the second one, negative, nothing. All right. Okay. So here's the first two. Here. Then I have individual copies for 3 and 4, where they're not in a bundle like that. So here's Jeepers Creepers 3, theatrical edition. Third time is a charm, according to the front of the case here. Right here. And here's the back of the case. As far as the cast is concerned, let's see here. Don't recognize any of these names. Okay. Cool. Anyway, next up, Jeepers Creepers 4 Reborn. I got both of these half-price books. Interesting. Both 3 and 4 were purchased at half-price books. Here's the fourth one from the back. As far as the cast is concerned, do I recognize any of the names here? Nope, not really. Yeah, no. Okay. Okay. Next up, another one of those glow-in-the-dark cases. We have 4 vampire movies. They are The Lost Boys 1, Lost Boys 2, The Tribe, Lost Boys 3, The Curse, and Queen of the Damned. Right here. And underneath here, it shows the individual movies listed instead of that really cool vampire look there. That is glow in the dark. Let's see, cast-wise. I don't recognize any of the names listed for the original. Oh, Kiefer Sutherland. I take that back. I recognize his name, and Diane West a little bit. For the second one, I actually don't recognize any of the names on it for. The third one here, an instance where I don't recognize any of the names. And for the fourth one, Queen of the Damned here, I don't recognize any of those names either. Okay. The original is rated R without an explanation. The second one, Lost Boys: The Tribe, is not rated. Again, no explanation. Lost Boys 3, The Thirst, is rated R with an explanation, and so is the fourth one. It also has a explanation. And there we go. 2 explanations and 2 without an explanation. I think I've only seen the first one partially. And then we have Anne Rice's Mayfair Witches. Like with Interview with a Vampire, I think I've only seen the first episode with this one. I think I watched 2 for the other. But she was in the Percy Jackson movies. What's her name? Don't know the actress's name. Looks like Pierce Brosnan is in this one as well. Show the cast or something inside here. This is Pierce Brosnan, isn't it? I'm pretty sure that's Pierce Brosnan. Like 99% sure that is who that is. Anyway, I have 2 spaces for season 2 saved for this as well. So I don't imagine it being longer than the first season, although it very well could be, but these 2 both had 2 discs each. So I imagine that pattern would continue moving forward. And then we have the 3-movie Mimic collection with Mimic 1, 2, and Mimic 3 Sentinel here. I think I've seen the first one. I have 2 copies of the original, because I got an individual copy for the first one before getting this 3-movie bundle. The original has, I just saw his name, Josh Brolin in it, and well, it's a film by Guillermo del Toro. Josh Brolin's name is the only one I recognize on the back of here. Okay. With the second one, do I recognize any of those names? I do not. Okay. And with the third one, same deal. I don't recognize any of the names here either. Okay. They're all rated R with very tiny explanations on the case. I think they're a little bit easier to see on the discs themselves why they're rated R. But it looks like terror, violence, and language for the first one. Violence, gore, and language for the second, and violence and language for the third, I think. Coming out in the same order from 1, 2, and 3, we have 1997 release year, 2001 release year, and 2003 release year. And this particular bundle came out in 2020. Next up, we have Mirrors and Mirrors 2. Kiefer Sutherland is in the first one. Yeah. And who else is? Amy Smart is in that one, in the original, or in the first one as well. I don't know if it's original because I think it's based on another thing, but we'll call it the original since it's the first one, I guess. But anyway, includes the rated and unrated version, which is nice, theatrical and unrated. Yeah, and the second one, I don't recognize any of the names listed for the second one, but I do recognize two of the names for the first that I already pointed out. The second one was also just the unrated version, it looks like. Okay, then. But yeah, here's those. And up next we have one that lists the titles on the inside of the case, and that is a 12-movie monster threat on the monster movie mix. On the bottom it says Alien Threat, and on the back it says Deadly Attack. The titles themselves are not listed on the inside. I have to look on the disc itself for that. Okay then. Well, that's not helpful. That's not super helpful. But they all are on the same disc, all 12 of them. So apparently DVDs are capable now of holding 7 hours and 39 minutes at least, because that's what these ones are. Okay then. I thought it had like a little thing on the inside we can insert. Next up we have classic horror 3-movie triple feature, all on the same disc with Rites of Dracula, Dementia 13, and Night of the Living Dead. That is the original one with from the black and white era. Right here, these. Sir Christopher Lee was in the Rites of Dracula as Dracula himself. Peter Cushing is also in there in that one. And both of those actors have appeared in Star Wars movies before. Peter Cushing was Grand Moff Tarkin in A New Hope, and they CG'd a new actor to look like Peter Cushing for Rogue One, which is interesting. But yeah, and then Christopher Lee has both been the voice and like live action version of Count Dooku before. So that's cool. I don't recognize anyone listed for Dementia 13. Or the original Night of the Living Dead for that matter either. Because I got a lot of copies of Night of the Living Dead from the 60s. You'll see it pop up again on the very next case, actually. So here we go. Between those three movies, though, the total runtime is 260 minutes. It doesn't appear to have the individual runtimes for each. It included just the total. And here we go. Here's another copy of Night of the Living Dead by George A. Romero. Plus 19 bonus movies. So this is actually 20 movies in one. Of course, they're on separate discs, but all in one place. I think there's like... Oh, this one does have an insert. Okay, well. It had like 4 or 5 discs all stacked up right here. And there's the insert right there. It looks the same pretty much as the back of the case. So I'm just going to read the titles off of the back of the case here. The titles included are obviously Night of the Living Dead, because gee, I wonder why that one's in there. Anyway, yeah, from black and white version. And then we have The Devil Bat, not rated. Lady Frankenstein, rated R. Silent Night, Bloody Night, rated R. Rites of Dracula, again with Christopher Lee, rated R. The Terror, with Jack Nicholson, not rated. The Devil's Partner, not rated, black and white. Dead Men Walk, black and white, not rated. Night of the Blood Beast, not rated. Black Dragons, not rated. Both are black and white. House of Mystery, not rated, black and white. Bride of the Gorilla, black and white, not rated. Horrors of Spider Island, black and white, not rated. Juggernaut with Boris Karloff, not rated, black and white. Mesa of Lost Women, not rated, black and white. Monstrosity, not rated, black and white. She Demons, black and white, not rated. Sound of Horror, not rated, black and white. Moon of the Wolf, not rated, with this one is in color. And the last one's also black and white, which is Attack of the Giant Leeches, not rated, for a combined total of 14,500 or 1,455 minutes. My bad, black and white and color. The movies included are of varying lengths, but that's how long the total runtime is. Right over here-ish. Pointing directly at it right there. Anyway, a lot of that same information is listed on the inside, but it seems to have a little bit more cast information on the insides. But I don't want to spend too much more time talking about that. Just like trying to like, oh, I recognize this, I recognize that, I recognize this, recognize that. Anyway, or I don't recognize this name, whatever. Anyway, next up we have Night of the Animated Dead. And this is an animated retelling of the original Night of the Living Dead, which actually shows up again in the next case. Wow. I have so many copies of that. It's actually kind of funny. It actually says it's an animated retelling of the 1968 cult classic Night of the Living Dead. Yeah. So here's that in the back of the case. And the case looks the same underneath the cover, except it doesn't have the price tag or the thing on it. Does it say who's in this? I don't recognize any of the cast members for this one, but it came out in 2021. It's a pretty good movie. I enjoyed it. Next up, we have Monster Movie Mashup 7-movie set. A few of these we've already talked about, like Night of the Living Dead, the original. But so we have that one in here. We also have Count Dracula and his Vampire with Christopher Lee and Peter Cushing in there as well. Peter Cushing playing Van Helsing, Dr. Van Helsing. Nightmare Castle, which looks like it's in black and white. Came out in 1965. Not rated. Count Dracula and his Vampire is rated R. The Devil's Nightmare is rated R. Looks like it's in color, from 1971. The She Beast, not rated, from 1966. Snow Beast, in color, not rated, from 1977. And The Werewolf and the Vampire Woman, rated R, 1971, in color. I'm pretty sure I have watched all of these. These come to a total of 10 hours and 5 minutes, black and white and color. Yeah, there we go. Here's these, and there's the front of the case there. Next up, we have 8 horror movies. This was also one of my earlier bundle packs. I want to say I got, let's see. Anyway, I want to say I got one of those 15 movie bundles, and then I got this one the very next trip, or maybe even the same trip to the High Voltage store shop. I'm not sure actually. But anyway, the titles included in this one are Vanished, Sparrow, Nobody Can Cool, Bad Behavior, Hurt, Visible Scars, The Cellar Door, and Night Scream, which I have another copy of Night Scream somewhere, I think. We'll get to that in a second, I think. But anyway, it says that they're all rated R, but I don't think they all are. It doesn't have rating information for the individual titles themselves, but I don't think they're all actually rated R. I think some of them are quote unquote not rated, but the case itself says rated R on the bottom there, but not all of them. Again, not all of them are. Over 11 hours total, 715 minutes. All of them are in color. So there we go. Next up, we have this collector's tin, which we'll get into in just a moment. But here's the outside and the top. The movies included here are the original Night of the Living Dead, Revenge of the Zombies, Oasis of the Zombies. It says Oasis of the Living Dead when I went to click on the title itself. When I put the disc in, it says Oasis of Zombies, and White Zombie, which we'll come across again coming up soon. But here are the cases themselves. One of them is in red, one of them is in yellow. And yeah. So I don't think it really matters which one is first or second. But I do kind of want to put them back in the same order that they were before, which I think was yellow on the bottom. Yes. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So anywho, there's those. I like to call this collector's tin also a steelbook, sort of. That's really not, but I call it a steelbook. So next up, we have the 13 Nightmare movies collection spread across 2 cases. I have 2 copies of this version, of this particular case, because I got these 2 together, but I got this one separately prior to, so I just retained these 2 cases and got rid of the duplicate of the case of this, but I did retain the titles. With that being said, I think between all 30 of these, the total is 2,627 minutes, black and white and color titles. Maybe not, because actually, yeah, I think so. Anyway, we'll go ahead and read the titles that are on the back here. We got Another Kind, not rated, 2011. Behind Your Eyes, also from 2011, not rated. The Wind from 2001, not rated. Adrift, 1993, not rated. Salvage, not rated. Live from Death Row, not rated. No One Could Protect Her from 1997, not rated. Nightmare at Bitter Creek, rated PG-13 from 1987. Night Scream again, we covered that one a second ago, not rated. Summer of Fear, not rated from 1996. Hide and Creep, not rated, or actually it is rated R. Doesn't have a release here, that's what I meant to say. Zombie Dearest, not rated, 2009. Last of the Living, not rated, doesn't have a release here on it. The original Night of the Living Dead again. And then I Am Omega from 2007, which is not rated on there. And then the other side here has the following titles. Prom Night with Jamie Lee Curtis, which we covered in a previous video as well, rated R. Prom Night 2, Hello, Mary Lou, rated R. The Inflicted, not rated. Samuel Bleak, not rated. Blind Witness, not rated, from 1989. Dire Wolf, not rated, from I think 2008 if I'm reading the Roman numeral right. Anyway, I don't like the Roman numerals. I've mentioned that before. The Cry, which is the not as good version of Curse of La Llorona, rated R. The Nurse, rated R. And this one came out in 1996. It's in English the year, thank goodness. The Familiar, not rated, from 2009. Killer Killer, not rated, from, I think, did I say 2006? I think it's 2006. It's a little difficult to read the year on that one. Meadowwoods, rated R. Howling 4, the original Nightmare, rated R. Summer School, not rated, from 2008. Summer in School, no wonder that's in a horror movie collection. Two words that should never be used together, ever, unless it's in the context of a horror movie. Occupied, not rated, from 2011. And Killjoy 1, rated R. Yeah. I think of all the names listed on here, the only one I recognize, I think, is Jamie Lee Curtis's. But let me double check and make sure that's accurate information. So far, it's accurate. Yep, stays accurate. Yep, nope. Yeah, so far, Jamie Lee Curtis is the only name that I recognize off of here. Trend continues down to Direwolf, where I only recognize Jamie Lee Curtis's name from Prom Night 1. Yeah. And then let's see here. Down to Killer Killer. Still not recognizing any other names other than Jamie Lee Curtis's. Yeah, the only name that I recognized on the back of this entire case is Jamie Lee Curtis's. I don't know if I recognize any on the other one. Let's see. Very briefly. Point out any names that I do recognize, if there are any. So far, there are not. Yeah, I'm not recognizing any of these names on here either. Yeah. Okay. But the only name I recognize between the two cases in all 30 titles is that of Jamie Lee Curtis. Last up for this video, we have, quote unquote, the first Omen. The reason I say quote unquote is because there's also the original Omen, which until this came out was considered the first Omen, but this one is a prequel to it that is called The First Omen. So now I call that one the original Omen, or the other one the original, or the classic version. Let's see, do I recognize any of the names on the back of this one? Bill Nighy. This guy, I recognize him. He was both, I want to say both Scrimgeour in Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 1, as well as Davy Jones in the Pirates of the Caribbean series. But yeah, his is the only name that I recognize, and it's more so because I recognize him, not his name, per se. So, anywho, really good horror movie. Definitely check it out if you like horror movies in any way, shape, or form. Don't want this. No. Anyway. And this one has an insert, but it didn't come with this case because this is a Universal advertisement in a 20th Century Studios case. Interesting. Anywho, that is it for this particular video, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. If you like this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will catch you guys in the next one. I'm probably going to leave it here for today. I might bring up another stack and do one more of these videos later, but I don't want to put out too much all at once. That's also kind of why I'm cutting back on how long the videos are and just doing one stack at a time. Anyway, I'll catch you guys in the next video. Keep talking movies a lot. We all know I'm going to.